Hello, and welcome to Weed and Grub.
Caught the sip.
It went up my nose.
The water or the spindrift?
Yep. That was a raspberry lime fucking neti pot to start this episode.
Do the bubbles feel good up there?
It felt crazy. Yeah, I didn't mind it.
And you're going back for a second snort?
Sort of into it. Yeah, no. Well, I need to like rinse it all out. Hang on a second. Wow. Hi.
Hey, what up, Mary Jane?
How's it going, Mike?
We back, baby.
Yeah.
We back. It's so great to see you.
It is so great to see you. I'm so glad to be here with you right now.
Weed and Grub.
Weed and Grub.
Yo.
Yeah.
It feels awesome to say, what up, Mary Jane? It does.
Yeah, it really does. It feels really nice. It's been, I don't even know how long it's been since you and I sat in the same room and did this, but
it's been
a minute. Yeah, since I was last sitting with you, Bobo the cat has discovered a new way to be fucking annoying that I just need to get off my chest right now.
Oh, let it rip.
Because as I was just coming back from the kitchen with my fresh spindrift to crack for this episode, I looked at that motherfucker and, you know, of all of the things, like he poops and pees where he wants. He screams in the middle of the night. He eats like 18 times a day.
He's 19 years old.
He's 1,000 years
Times
old.
7.
Bobo the Destroyer. He is like, you know, yes, absolutely immortal. He now sleeps behind my front door, tucked into the corner. So now I have to be careful opening my front door when I come home. This is the new thing. I was like, there's nothing else he could do to be annoying. No, he's found the one place in my house that I can't like.
You got to give it to him.
It's amazing.
The levels of inconsideration that one animal can find is like limitless, and to me almost like jealousy inducing, because
Right.
I would never think to sleep behind the door.
Who knew that he could be like continue to be a problem every single day, like come up with a new way to make my life more difficult.
I think when he sleeps, when all cats sleep and they go to the underworld, they all have like almost like meetings where they compare notes and new techniques and, you know, tricks of the trade, like to be a cat, to be the most cat you can cat.
Yeah, and then they come back to this world just to check on you to see if you're dead yet, to see if they can eat you. I'll tell you, last night I ate an edible, and then I didn't feel like it was going to send me enough to sleep enough, so I ate another one, and it was like I ended up kind of like lying back and looking at the patterns on my eyelids for a while.
You double dipped.
Yeah, before I
Nice.
slipped into sleep, and it was actually really nice because I had rain sounds. I was doing all of the self-soothing things. You know, I had the ceiling fan going. I had rain sounds on a dark screen. I had like a nice little diffuser going with a good scent. I'd eaten my edibles.
Sounds like a nice sleep.
I'd like washed my face. I was ready to sleep. Archie Moo was curled up with me, guarding my feet from monsters under the bed. And as I was like sinking in and kind of watching the patterns on the back of my eyelids, Bobo came up and he sniffed. He does that thing where he smells my eyes to see if I'm alive.
Because that's where the soul creeps out of. So if your soul gets closer to the front of the skull, it's coming.
So disconcerting to have a cat smell your eyes. It's like, it's the grossest, weirdest thing. He's the grossest, weirdest cat. So anyway.
It is interesting that he has pennies taped to the bottom of his front paws. I always thought that was a curious thing that he does.
Yeah, he could just like put him out and be like, shh, it's time. It's time. Anyway, Bobo, yeah, he's going to live for another 1,000 years.
If he does start putting his paws on either side of your nose,
yes,
to lay down on your face and
oh my
squeeze
God.
that nose shut, then you better be careful. He doesn't
Eye
pillow you.
When you were a kid, that's probably
Cat's
older
Eye?
than you are. The
No.
movie Cat's Eye was a series. It was 3 short stories made into one feature film, and one of them was about this cat that was guarding a little girl from a troll that was trying to kill her at night.
Ooh,
by smothering her.
good.
It was very fucking creepy.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. So shout out Bobo,
Shout out. What's up, Bobo? He survived the summer without me. Thank you, everyone who helped keep him alive and keep him in expensive food. And yeah, he's doing fine. He didn't even notice I was gone. Now that I'm back, he just wants to know when he can eat me. And yeah,
and sleep behind the door.
Yeah.
Please keep me up to date on like the next thing he does that is so annoying. Like, I want to hear from other people what their cats do.
What does your cat?
Yeah, what makes your cat the most cat it can cat?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know.
My friend Meg has a cat that she's straight up been trying to give away for like 5 years now. She's like, anyone want him? Rodney J, anyone? Everyone's like, no, he can stay with you.
Yep. Why would you?
He's nailing being a cat, man. He's got like a free place to live. He's got a box he shits in and she cleans it up for him. He like kills a bunch of things and brings them home, but doesn't really care if she looks at them. He doesn't care about cuddling, you know.
Man, I want that to be my nursing home. That's the pamphlet for me. When my family tries to, like tuck me into my last home.
Yeah.
I want that pamphlet to say like, you can shit in a box and people leave you alone. And I'm going to fucking run there.
Yes.
I'll run my hobbled cane walker brittle bones into that place to live that life. That sounds nice to me.
Fucking A.
Lamb every night and people not talking to me, give it to me.
Sounds perfect. Oh, man.
Let's make this nursing house a nursing home.
I've always wanted to live on a commune with like all of the fucking cool people that are just the same age as me who don't have kids. You know what I mean? So when I get into my, I guess, how old would that be that I would want to start doing that? Probably, I feel like in my mid-60s when you can still like enjoy a lot of life.
Is a commune code for like orgy sex cult without the
It can
like,
be,
murder?
but it's just general communal living where you're like all sharing the duties, right? So like you all help out. So there's not that one asshole sitting over on his fucking duff in the corner enjoying the fruits of everyone else's labor because he has more money. Like the idea of communal living and communism at its heart is that everyone plays a part and everyone reaps the rewards.
I see.
So it's a nice idea that doesn't work most of the time because there is that one fucking asshole who either wants to run everything or do nothing.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
And sometimes I'm that fucking asshole. But in this case, I would like to buy a commune. I would like to grow a bunch of weed in a communal garden. I would like all of us to like do the fucking farm to table cooking where like I'm responsible for one meal one night of the week and the rest of the time I just do dishes and or just show up. And I'd like to start doing that in 25 years from now. So anyone listening, get at me in 2046. See what I'm up to. If I'm free, let's buy a place together. I'm looking at you, Mike.
I know you
might be busy, so I don't want to count on you.
I already told you I'm gonna be in a padded room alone with like tiny windows. I'm busy.
You're gonna be on the space station with Elon fucking Musk, like, or doing comedy at a skyscraper in Dubai or something. You know?
I did just send an email to Dubai. That's the truth.
Yeah,
I did. No, I think we're gonna be on the exact same road.
Okay.
And on one side of the road is like commune magic garden dwelling super cave city.
Right.
And on the other side is just a blank slate.
You in a box?
And me in a box. No, I don't like that either.
I don't like that at all. How about this?
It's kind of bullshit. It's not
about
super true, but I like the idea of it.
I think we should have a space on, and you and I have talked about like how we would love to like live near and or next to each other, but that our living spaces would be so super different. So how about if on this commune there's a moat and there's a little island, and in the middle of that island you can have whatever the hell you want, your own structure, and nobody can come near you, but you are actually on the commune and still able to take advantage of, the public showers or whatever it is you need.
I don't like it. I hate that because I'm this year for me, especially Mary Jane, in these times, as we are in these times, I'm trying to say yes, and when I say yes, actually embrace the yes. And so the idea of being a part of that, but not a part of that, but being there for it, leaves a bad taste in my mouth because I'm trying to not do that. So I am here for like a hard yes that follows through at 150 miles per hour.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm here for it too. But before we go any further, we should say this is Weed and Grub.
Oh, fuck.
Which we haven't done.
It's not that I'm out of practice, but I'm out of practice. Welcome to Weed and Grub, everyone. This is a podcast about comedy,
cannabis,
culture,
cooking,
calling shit out,
and caring for yourself and your community today.
Yeah.
And I know that's a little heavy-handed, but that's a big part of what I've been about these past few months.
Do you feel like we gave a fun intro to now also have some honesty about what's been going on?
Yeah.
Cool.
I would love that. I would love to just, get into that a little bit because I want to thank my friends, my community, you, all of the people who showed up for me so much in these past few months. I've been with my sister, Caroline, who, the best big sister anyone could ever ask for. She fought cancer for 2.5 years, and she passed away on July 11th. And I was able to be with her, which truly was one of the most amazing privileges that I've ever had, to spend that amount of time with someone who allows you in a way when they're truly just going through some things that, it's a big deal. It's a big fucking deal. And so to be able to step away from a lot of what I had going on, to be with my sister and her partner, Walt, and Walt and I were with her when she died. It was the three of us together, to feel so close to her, and to be missing her so terribly, but to have had that gift has kept me feeling, in the months since she's died, like I haven't sort of fallen on the floor like I thought I was going to, because she gave me so much. So I don't know. There's a lot that I could get into, but I just want to say thank you to everyone, to you, especially to all of my friends and community who have just kept sending me messages of support and love, and like jokes and pictures of cute hedgehogs and all the things, and also just an outpouring of so much love for Caroline and who she was, and that love has buoyed me up a lot, and I'm just super grateful.
Yeah. I'm really grateful to record this like We Back episode with you.
Yeah.
It feels like a long time, straight up.
Yeah.
It feels like a long time since we've dropped an ep, and to do one where it's just you and I able to like,
Yeah.
To
chop it up a little, and
Chop
to
it
also
up.
be real. Like I think that there was a moment sort of sometime maybe in June. So my sister has been sick for a long time, but she got very, very, very sick in May. And in June, it was obvious that she was going to be going into hospice. And so I was there for all of that time with her. And I realized, like, this is going to fundamentally change me. This is going to change how I move through the world. This is the biggest thing that I've ever gone through, is, with my sister, and now without her. And that's an okay thing to talk about, that I need to be able to talk about it, that I need to be open about it, because the second I start stuffing that into a place where I'm not addressing it, that starts making me actually feel sick. And so I'm really glad to just have this space to like totally like make jokes, hang out, do all the things that we do, but also really talk about like the experience that was, and what it's like to I don't even know. Just, walk through the world in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you. And thanks everyone for hanging throughout.
Can we talk a little bit more about it?
Yeah.
Okay. Because something that I've learned about myself, and sorry to like make this about me, but I don't know how to relate stuff yet, but that's actually like what I wanted to bring up was like, as soon as we started going through this, and you started going through this, and Walt, and everybody started going through it, I realized that I only make jokes about death, but when I try to have a real conversation with somebody about it, all I can do is make those jokes. And you and I got into some like serious fights that weren't so much fights as much as like, hey man, could you just be a person for a second about what is going on? And I realized that like not being able to talk about it, and immediately going into my head about like, what's the right thing to say? Should I say anything? Does it sound flippant if I just say I care so much about all of you, and I hope that, life is as easy as it can be while it's this hard? Like, ugh. And then I'd get in my head and I'd shut down, and the whole thing would be a fucking mess, because I didn't know how to just be like honest and talk about a real situation with you or anyone else in my life. So I think really what I'm saying is like, what do I like? What do you say?
What do you say?
Yeah.
Well, the crazy thing is, there's nothing you can say. There's nothing you can say. Nothing you can do. The only thing in my experience that has been said that I've just found sort of the overall statement is just, I'm so sorry. Is there anything that I can do to be helpful? But not then putting it on that person to sort of like have them try to dictate what they need from you. I don't know. It's very crazy, but like the language of loss and grief is not, weirdly, of course it should be universally spoken, but especially in the Western world that we live in, it is so tamped down to the point where people feel like it's inappropriate to address the fact that someone just died. Like,
because to bring it up could be so painful that you don't know what to do after.
Right, because we don't have the sort of like things in place to actually help process this experience and talk about it, just as we talk about birth. Like, you know, the joy of bringing someone into the world is there's this thing that happens at the other end that, you know, we just don't have these things in place in our weird society to address. Like, what was that like? And not only what is it like for the person who's like wrapping things up as they prepare to go, but what is it like for all of the people around them? And you know, how it can be. Like, I'm really excited. We're having a celebration for Caroline. And I think that's pretty common now, is that people have a celebration of life rather than a funeral. So I think, like, you know, society is sort of changing slowly to, you know, embrace the idea that, like, let's talk about all the good stuff and, you know, and toast. And, you know, I mean, that's also a very Irish idea. Like, we're going to have a lot of booze and music and dance at her party.
See, but that's so opposite of what I believe Jewish culture is, which and I've never sat Shiva, so if I'm getting this wrong, somebody will let me know. But essentially, it's like you just sit in the dark for 7 days quietly.
But there's also, I want there to be room for that. Like, there are days where I straight up feel insane if someone's actually trying to ask me to be cheerful or paste a fucking smile on my face.
Yeah.
Or when someone says, "How are you?" I recently ducked that question because someone had reached out to say, "How are you?" And I dodged it, and I answered a bunch of other stuff, and I was like this and that, and then they were like, "You didn't answer my question. How are you?" And I was like, that's very pushy, and it also makes me feel insane because you're asking me to sort of tell you how I am in a way that's palatable for you, and then this whole thing sort of becomes about me making you feel okay. Which is, you know, so there's just a lot of that. I've just got to say, like, shout out to all the hospice workers out there. My friend Kate is an incredible hospice worker here in Los Angeles, and the hospice worker that worked with my sister Caroline, her name is Teresa. Like, these people are doing such amazing work with exactly these conversations around dying, the conversations about bringing the family in, so it's like an experienced event where it's not like someone just shoved off in a room until they finally kick the bucket or crap out, like my sister would say. You know, I felt like this was just a very fucking communal experience, and I feel really fortunate, and I'm like in the process of having just lost my sister, grieving, but also feeling very I don't know, buoyed up by how the whole thing went. Like, Walt, her partner, the love of her life, keeps saying, you know, we're so fucking lucky. Like, we could have been shut out.
Yeah.
We could have not had her at home. We could have had a bunch of things not in place. And instead we had a community and great support to make it happen in a way that nobody fucking wants it to happen. And cancer fucking kidnapped her, and she was way too fucking young to go. Way too young. But in the way that she went, she was so brave, and she had everything that she wanted around her, and we were able to do that with her. So that was really fucking cool. And I just want to, I don't know, keep learning the language and communicating in it to other people. And like, I've looked into some people who are doing work as death doulas and all this kind of stuff, and I'm really interested in that world now in a way that I haven't been before. So, and weed helps.
Yeah. Fucking yeah.
Yeah, weed has been so helpful just to sleep, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, can we talk about that too?
Yeah,
I don't,
sure.
I like, because it's our first time back, it's kind of like, maybe I'm being too precious about it and like, you know, golemly, but there's so many things I want to like kind of grill you about and talk about and be open about. So I'm trying to be here for all of it, but also I am high, and
I know
I'm all over the map.
I'm super all over the map too.
Okay,
so
cool.
If that's okay with everyone, we're doing a moose. We're doing a loose moose.
Hot loose moose.
This is what we do sometimes, is we just yap when we're stoned. So.
I want to put it on record more for us than anything. Thank you for inviting me to visit and get to know Caroline, and asking me to be a part of the past, like, since we've met, but I've also like, you've invited me on a lot of special moments so that I could also get to know her, and I really appreciate that. And it's super important to me that goes like on record for all time on this pod, to say thank you, Mary Jane. Thank
you so much. That will make me fucking cry, because I think it would be really hard for me right now if I didn't have people around me who, if I were around people who hadn't known my sister. And so to spend time with you, because you did know her and you spent a lot of time with her, it's just so great, because it's, even if we're not talking about her, there's a shared language of, you know, my family.
Yeah.
You know my people. So that was, thank you. It was really cool. And I did love that it cracked her up that just, you know, a couple of weeks before she died, you sent her a text that said, "Hey, this is Mike Glazer from the hit podcast Weed and Grub."
Yeah.
And she was like reading it out loud. We were sitting in the backyard with a bunch of people and everyone was cracking up. And they were like, oh, Mike. And I was like, that's so fucking perfect. And she thought it was so funny. It was just really cool. And she was so funny. Like, I think that's the thing too that's weird when someone dies is like, it's just, things are so sad. But I will say, she was one of the most fun and funny people on the planet. Everyone who knew her was like, she was just like so hilarious. And she wrote me a letter that I opened after she passed. And one of the pieces of advice in it said, Merry Christmas, Happy Birthday, always celebrate. Like, just always, shit's going to be super fucking sad. Like, I'm so sad and I miss her so much. But recording with you, hanging and talking about the good parts of it is,
celebrating.
Yeah, that's what I really want to do because there's plenty of time to cry about it too. So
absolutely. On topic, off topic.
Yeah.
What's the food going to be at her celebration?
Oh, it's actually really good. So she's in Port Townsend, and everyone there is like a master chef, and they're all fighting about it.
That's some Edward Scissorhands level, like suburban drama.
It's so great. She has probably 12 people in her close inner circle who all want to like not only help but like orchestrate and plan and make the whole thing. And so I posted the notice about when we're having the celebration of her life on the Caring Bridge and just put it out. And I texted friends and just to let everyone know. And I got like 5 incoming calls all at once, and they were like, "Hey, so what are you thinking?" And I was like, "This is going to be interesting."
Ask them for resumes. Ask them for resumes.
Yep.
3
I'll ask them to audition.
References. Audition. Bring a diorama. I want to see a deck.
How good are your cod cakes? I mean, how good are they?
Would you watch that reality show?
Is it a 3-cheese mac and cheese that you're talking, or what are we talking here?
It better be at least 3, and there needs to be 1 sharp, 1 creamy, and 1 funky.
And it better have a fucking panko, crisp
crumble
on top.
Absolutely. And don't bring a spiral noodle to an elbow party.
Hell no.
Hell no. God, I'm already mad about the macaroni that I haven't had yet.
We're gonna have. There's definitely gonna be meatballs and mac and cheese, and then probably some fucking delicious other stuff too. Key lime pie has been floated, and I did just make I just asked Walt to make sure that we have glassware because we got to be able to clink.
Yeah.
Oh,
no plastic cups.
No plastic cups.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love that. At my celebration,
Yeah.
will you make sure everyone has coffee mugs no matter what they're drinking?
Oh my God, that's so annoying. But yes, I will.
Okay, cool. You heard it here.
Because you pour your wine into a coffee mug. And it's infuriating to
If
me.
you drink everything out of a holder with a handle, then it makes everything less spillable.
Oh my God.
I trust a handle more than I trust a full grip.
Okay.
Of anything, not like, you know what I'm talking about? Like a tumbler makes me nervous to hold.
Okay.
But a coffee mug.
Do you have tiny hands or something that I haven't noticed?
I've been hiding them this whole time.
Miniature, tiny, weird hands where you can't hold cups.
I can't do it. Sometimes I do a 2-hand trumper,
Oh, Jesus. Well, that'll be our news story. We'll get to that in a bit.
We'll get there in a bit. Jinx. Buy me a Coke and put it in a mug.
Okay. Fuck.
I love the point that, like, you need to have glassware at a celebration for clinks. It's such a good point, especially when you have to ask for a straw. Silverware is when you get food to go. It has to be a special request.
Yeah, I hate drinking out of plastic, and I don't feel like, plastic is great to have at anything. If we can possibly avoid it, we should. And so, yeah, I want to clink. I want bubbles in a glass, and I want to clink that glass and then dance to Journey and Lionel Richie were her top requests. So
awesome.
It's gonna be a good party.
Journey just did Lollapalooza, and I watched some of the set. Boy, they are rocking. That's an awesome choice.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in. I'll be there.
Dope.
I was gonna say something else, and now I'm stoned. Give me a second.
Okay.
Bubbles. Clinks, dancing the night away.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Do you want me to talk about edibles?
All right.
Or do you have other things to say about Caroline's celebration?
No, I'm really glad that we can talk about it on here.
Me too.
It means a lot.
As like, I would just like to be able to talk about my sister freely without people getting like scared that I'm going to all of a sudden ruin the party. You know what I mean? And I want everyone to be able to talk about the people that they have, that they miss, without people being scared. And, you know, that's something that for me, when my friend Nicole died, you know, we were so young, and it was, she was shot, and so it was like a crazy thing. Life cut super short, all of this stuff. It was terrifying for anyone to be able to talk about her, but it was so important for me because she was like an incredible creative best friend of mine who was just like a light, and I wanted to talk about her all the time. And so I don't know, I feel like I'm trying to sort of course correct now. And I want to just say to anyone, if you're missing someone who's not around and people are uncomfortable with you talking about that person, then maybe find someone that you can talk about them with, because it doesn't feel good to have to keep things inside because other people are just like weirded out by it.
Yeah, like a good story well told at a bar that happens to be about someone who's gone. That story should be a laugh and a and oh my gosh, I remember that, not a we need to now say something.
Oh God.
And
oh God,
make
is she
a
gonna
motion
talk about her
and
dead mother. Oh God.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh man, I think it's gonna take like a shitload of work here in America to make that happen.
It is.
But man, I really welcome it.
But like, fuck, I'm so honestly really looking forward to Day of the Dead this year, to go to the Hollywood Forever Cemetery. It does this amazing, they light sculptures and like food offerings and all the stuff to celebrate the Day of the Dead in that like tradition, the Mexican tradition that I didn't know about really until I went and saw how it's like they truly celebrate their ancestors. They talk to them, they feed them, they interact with them. And it was something that my sister's therapist Tess said to me that really helped me in the days after Caroline was gone. She was like, you love her the same. She's not here anymore, but your love hasn't changed. So you can still love her in the same way. You can still talk to her in the same way. You can remember her in the same way. You can write to her. You can give her offerings. And I was like, oh my God. And it's really helped me in this last month where I'm like, I want to pick up the phone, or I wake up and I remember. And then I'm like, but it's okay. I can still talk to her. I can still talk about her. And I just want to like promote that idea that we can all still talk about and to the people who aren't here anymore.
Fuck yes. Fuck yes.
And
wow.
not a heavy way.
Well, it's only heavy the first time I hear it. You know what I mean? Because it's like such
dead.
a radical idea.
And dead is hard, and dead is huge.
Yeah. So, but then the more you do it, the easier things get, right?
Yep.
So
truly.
Fucking in. I remember what it was.
Okay. Here we go. All right. I'm here.
It makes me so crazy because my family, and I think it's a lot of Midwestern families on a special occasion, it was about your clinks and needing real glasses.
Okay.
I was at home for like Thanksgiving or Christmas or something, and because it was a special occasion, we used plastic plates that had like mistletoe on them and a plastic table covering that had Christmas baubles and snow, and everything was like one use plastic Christmas edition.
Yeah.
And it was like this 4 of us. And I was like, why are we using this? Why don't we use plates? And they were like, because it's festive and it's easier. And at the end of the night, it was a huge trash bag just filled with bullshit plastic that we put Velveeta mixed with chili cheese and some Ritz crackers on and ate some dips and all that stuff. And I was like real upset about it. And I had to say something to my family and be like, I know it's easier, but also what are we doing? And that's what I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember my plastic complaints.
That's such a big conversation to be having right now, given the report that just came down from the UN that we have this truly tiny fucking window to possibly stop the world from exploding with climate change, and that plastic uses and what's put into manufacturing plastic is a big part of it. And so if we could all reduce our plastic waste immediately and just don't use plastic cups and use your own silverware for takeaway, and when you go to shop, don't go to Whole Foods where they put everything in fucking clamshells. Like, go to the farmer's market, whatever we can all do. But yeah it's a huge,
well, then we got to get rid of Charles Koch, because I just listened to hold on.
Ooh.
I want to look it up and promote this podcast.
Okay.
I'm obsessed with it.
Okay. While you're doing that, I want to shout out our previous guest, Mary Carrion, who check out her awesome new podcast, which is all about climate change. And I'm going to pull her up while you're pulling your thing up.
So it's called Who Is? And I listened to the one because they had one called Who is Big Weed? And it kind of breaks down the overall broad strokes of like where cannabis is in America. But they had one on Jeff Bezos that I was loving. Yep. And the one on Charles Koch was explaining that he has his tendrils in oil and plastic and like all of the things that everyone uses every single day. He has like the baseline of it, and that's what he controls. So if we can get rid of him or get him to let go of a little bit for the greater good, then we're in great shape. But as of right now, he's like opening lobbies and creating like huge organizations that are stopping all climate change like amendments from being passed. Meanwhile, Exxon is like, yeah, we'll do a little here, we'll do a little there. And he's like, fuck all of you and fuck all of that. And he's holding on for dear life to all the control he has, and he has so much of it. So I know I'm getting mad about my mom having things that make her feel good on Christmas. And I'm like, yeah, but you're ruining the earth. But more so like we need to like,
it's not your mom who's ruining the earth.
It's not really my mom. It's not her at all. Wendy, love you.
Yeah.
It's him and his big broad choices that are destroying everything.
And he wants to get into the weed business and then take that over and make that a for-profit space for his old white
because
ass.
he's going to make so much money off like the plastic
Yeah.
and how much waste there is in like weed. Like a doob tube is going to last longer than 3 of my generations. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think there's, possibly they've got an eye on the hemp as a renewable resource for fuel and all that sort of stuff. And they're trying to like get a fucking lock on that shit right now because we're running out of fossil fuels and everything else is going to, So it's fat. Keep an eye on Charles Koch, everyone.
So, yeah.
And Mary Carry-On's podcast is called Erased, and she is covering climate change. And she's a great fucking writer and a really cool person. Also smokes Halloween.
Sweet.
Yep.
Let's get to the news while we're on this like tear.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got our OCB presentation.
Oh, hold on. Let me get my phone.
We're gonna pull that up. We've got to present our news segment, the Grub Gazette, which is presented by OCB Rolling Papers, the largest rolling paper brand in the world, crafted naturally since 1918.
OCB offers a full line of plant to puff papers made with sustainable fibers farmed from within 500-kilometer radius of their facility in France. Mary Jane, these are like new words. I don't always say them.
Kilometer. You sound like a weird robot.
It's because my brain is so not kilometer based.
Right. You have an imperial brain?
I have an imperial brain, and it makes it hard to read certain words. Anyway, OCB is powered by 100% green energy.
In 2020, OCB rolled out America's first ultra-thin, slow-burning bamboo rolling papers and cones. They're even-burning, no-tear, GMO-free, and vegan.
Not all rolling papers are created equal. OCB offers a premium smoking experience that we call Harmony on High.
Ask for OCB wherever you buy your papers and sample the entire line of products. Plus, visit OCBUSA.com and follow OCB on Instagram at OCB_USA.
Quick personal story before we get to the news.
Oh, yes.
About OCB?
Yes.
So, I'm like trying to get better at rolling. I'm not very good yet, but they have the cones that you can roll.
They're great.
It's great. Mm-hmm. And even though you can roll, you've been accused of using a cone.
That's
how good your
I was
joint
so
looked.
proud when
Wasn't
someone was
that
like,
great?
you used a cone. And I was like, fuck you, I rolled it myself.
The ultimate compliment. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Paul, who is our plug at OCB, because he just became the president and chief marketing officer of Roll with Republic, which is the parent company of OCB and all these other places.
Whoa.
He's a huge hockey fan, which is how we connected.
Yeah.
And he's just in like this new position, and I really like him and I really like OCB, and so I just want to say congratulations to Paul.
Congrats,
and
Paul.
The next OCB I roll up will 100% be in your honor as you make your life your dream.
Friends in high places.
Oh, nice. Let's go. Thank you, guys. This has been Weed and Grub. We're going to keep it short because Mary Jane's on fire.
Yep, I've got more puns to drop later. But first, the news. So our news this week is from Marijuana Moment. They're at marijuanamoment.net. Great source for all your weed news. This is an infuriating story about a former anti-marijuana congressman and top Trump health official who joined a cannabis business. He's on the board of a cannabis company now.
So anti, and then all of a sudden pro
when it's the fucking money. So yes, Tom Price, who served as the Department of Health and Human Services secretary under Trump for 7 months before resigning following criticism over hundreds of thousands of dollars in travel expenses, is now listed as a board member of a cannabis business that won a license last month under Georgia's medical weed program. So just so you can really hear how anti-weed this motherfucker was.
And his last name's Price, right?
Price.
So, all right.
So Tom Price Tom Price, as a congressman, voted 6 times against appropriations bill amendments to shield state medical marijuana programs from federal interference. On 3 occasions, he also opposed appropriations measures to allow Veterans Affairs doctors to be able to recommend medical cannabis for vets. And now he's on the fucking board of a fucking weed company. Like he was anti-weed reform, actively, terribly. Served under a president who, I mean, say what you will about Trump, but like he was the one who actually granted clemency to Corvine Cooper. So like he was more pro weed than this fucking guy.
Yeah.
And he's just, I don't even want to say anything good about Trump. Sorry about that. But this guy, Tom.
Well, I can be happy that Corvine got clemency.
Yeah, absolutely. This motherfucker is, going to make a bunch of money off legal cannabis now after having publicly, in a life of fucking public service, enacted or worked against policies that would have helped people. So.
Yeah. So we've had some really cool discussions on this podcast together, and also with people who write for Politico and really on point folks. And what we keep hearing over and over is you need these people on the other side to get their base, who is most likely anti-cannabis,
sure,
to see them and what they're doing and get those who are against now involved. And
Sure.
the ways to do that are to focus on social equity, or to get all of these people out of prison who are wrongfully there, and to have folks like this fuckface make money, and then everyone who loves him can see that it's good because there's money in it.
Right. That's like, I would call that the Boehner argument, right?
The Boehner
When everyone
argument.
was like, oh, former Speaker of the House, John Boehner, is now on the board of Acreage Holdings. And someone from Texas wrote to us and they were like, yeah, but I can use that to convince my family who are very, on the right that, weed is actually a good thing. So, yeah, I think the Boehner argument, it is important to have certain people in positions of power in the legal weed industry to be able to say to someone, look, it's a fucking profitable thing that, can help communities and all that kind of stuff. But this guy's just a hypocritical motherfucker who should have, in my opinion, have absolutely no right to join a company where he is actually going to profit off the plant that he actively worked against making legal for fair and safe access for people. And his wife is also a former Georgia state representative who opposed reforms, including legislation to create the existing program that would allow people to access low THC oils.
Jesus Christ.
Together, Tom Price at the federal level and his wife Betty Price at the state level have both been anti-weed for a long fucking time. So it just sticks in my craw, and I'm just learning about this. I'm sure anyone who is actually on the ground with this story must just be infuriated that he's going to be allowed to profit off of this. So let's keep an eye on these motherfuckers, hold them accountable, make sure that they're, at the very least, that we're keeping their names out there so that they know that we are watching, and we're not going to just let
and vote him out.
Well, no, he's not in power anymore.
Oh, that's right.
He's now a private fucking citizen. So it's just really important to keep holding people in politics accountable, and also people who are on private boards. Don't give your dollars. If you have the chance to spend your money in the legal cannabis market, not all of us do. Some of us are still buying on the legacy market. But if you're in a place where you're able to spend money on legal weed, do a little research and see who that legal weed is really from, And if you're buying from a company, it's probably owned by another company, and you can go all the way up the chain. Seth Rogen, actually, his company Houseplant just separated from its parent company in Canada.
THC Design, right? Oh, no, Canopy.
Yeah, THC Design is the company that's actually growing their weed in Los Angeles, but their parent company that they were working with in Canada was Canopy.
Yeah.
And their Houseplant is going to go its own way now and maybe do a little more of its own company policy. And I think that's really great and a big opportunity for Seth Rogen, who has been such a cool advocate for legal cannabis, to really now make his mark as someone who owns a brand that can do the right thing and can vote with his,
vote. Yeah, and also
weed dollar.
take all of his data that he's collecting and find the right people to do the right things in the right places, to be look at all this data.
Yeah.
Because data talks.
Data fucking talks.
So
yep.
I have an idea.
Yes.
What do you think about some kind of legislation called the wishy-washy policy?
Okay.
And it's where if you vote down the line one way over and over and over, you can't then be wishy-washy and go to the other side when it is convenient for you.
Don't they call that a flip-flop?
A flip-flop?
Wasn't that Carrie's whole thing where they were like, he's a flip-flopper? And it was
Yeah.
like, oh, he changed his mind about something?
Yes.
Right. So,
Right.
no, I hate this because you need to be able to change your mind and grow. And
But he's
evolve
not
your
changing his
opinions.
mind. He's being a fuckface.
Okay, so so no hypocrisy, Bill.
You call it whatever you want. So far, you're just pitching names and not telling me if you like it.
I like it very much. I have to say, like, just reading this article in Marijuana Moment, everyone who's quoted in it is like, he's a hypocrite. He's a fucking hypocrite. I can't believe that. It's the height of hypocrisy.
So
And
it's the Hippocratic oath.
Sure.
You have to take a Hippocratic oath where you say,
A hypocritical
a
oath?
hypocritical oath. Yeah. Saying if you are staunch in one way over and over and over, you don't get to then be like, but there's no but.
I would make an amendment to say that the hypocritical oath would be that if you are entering the cannabis industry, that you have to immediately take 1/10 of whatever it is that you're doing and turn around and just give it to some nonprofit or someone who's doing good work.
Yes. Oh, okay.
You
That
have
is the asterisk.
You absolutely have to. Tom Price should have to give, as far as I am concerned, 100% of whatever it is that he makes until he's actually repaid the fucking harm that he did to society by fucking working against legal weed. But, we'll start with 10.
I love that.
Yeah.
Dang, this is a really good piece of legislation.
The hypocritical.
Hypocritical oath with an asterisk.
They're like, it makes no sense. We don't know where this came from. Somehow they got it on our desk.
He keeps saying Your Honor to everyone because he has no idea how to address anyone.
The weird thing is, I feel like between the two of us, we know enough people who are connected enough that we could get this on someone's desk somehow, and they would just be like, what is this fucking nonsense? Were they high when they wrote this? We're like, yeah, but it makes sense.
It makes sense.
We talked about a bunch of stuff. We can pitch on names.
Yeah, and now one of you have mentioned that we're in tuxedos because of Step Brothers. You're all out of touch. No one's brought that up, Your Honor.
Oh, boy. Okay, I like it.
I think it's great.
Yeah, I think it's really good.
Yeah.
That's our news.
Speaking of getting things on track,
Yes.
can I put myself on blast for a second?
Would love that. Please share something. Please.
Just keep
Please,
prodding
God.
you.
Yeah.
I was talking with my therapist, Peter, because I've been like so out of whack. And I did 3 things for myself that I just want to like shout out.
Okay.
One is I got an Airbnb for myself in the hills. You want to talk about like the nursing home from earlier? Leave me alone. Instead of a moat, I just made a hill, the moat.
Yeah.
And I stayed in an Airbnb for like a week and just like disappeared from society. And it was fucking brilliant and exactly what I needed. And also manifesting the kind of dream home I want. Put it in the air, baby.
Yep.
And I learned while I was there, one of the huge benefits of having your home is that when you do Zoom therapy, your apartment neighbors can't hear all your fucking bullshit drama about your mommy and stuff like that. So I would also say, like, if you're looking to buy a home, one of the things you might want to consider is the amount of privacy you have to talk about things you want to talk about.
Yes.
Secondly, we, and we can edit it to say we joined Weight Watchers to hold ourselves accountable and have some discipline in our lives every single fucking day.
Yep.
Not about being fat or thin. It's about dialing in an every single day routine for me.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to do that and eat well, drink a bunch of water, not sleep at 3:30 a.m., which Weight Watchers already yelled at me for. They were like, dude, 3:30 to 10:15 a.m.? No. Like, whoa, what are you doing? You need better.
Yeah.
So I want to shout that out, and I want to shout out weed and edibles, kind of like you were talking about, as the balance between the chaos of how everything feels right now and trying to find like just some fucking footing to hold on to.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out weed, baby. An edible at night, joints during the day, go on a long walk, drink water. I'm trying to be back.
Yes.
Thank you for letting me ramble.
I love all of this. It was, I just think it's so cool that you did that for yourself, that you like took those days and just dropped and went into a beautiful space that you loved that had a Buddha next to a pool that I saw on your the pictures that you sent. It looked amazing. I was jealous, but also very grateful that you were there. Totally fucking shout out the edibles experience to help me get through the nights. And what was the other thing that you brought up?
WW.
Oh, yeah. So my thing with that is that I just feel like I've kind of been in a car wreck. I would say that's how my body feels. I think with the inactivity, just, sort of enforced inactivity because of the pandemic, and then stress, and then bad eating habits, and then drinking too much alcohol, and just like treating my body kind of badly because I was just like going through some stuff. Yeah, I just needed something to put me on a program where I can actually, because I've, done Whole30 and a bunch of other things that have been really great to recalibrate. But the act of truly like looking at everything, and I'm tracking everything that I'm eating right now.
Yeah.
Even just 2 days of that already has me feeling a little clearer. So
Same.
I'm doing it with you. I'm excited to do it.
What team are you?
I'm green.
I'm blue. Really?
Green means that I am tracking everything that like every glass of water, every banana, everything that I'm.
This is a weed podcast.
intaking.
I'm jealous.
Yeah.
Team green, huh?
Team green. And then also, I'm not counting my edibles though.
Well, how can you?
Because, and I'm doing mostly, like I had Kinslips 2 nights ago, and then last night I had one of these little gummies that are fast acting. Like I'm not doing anything that's like, I'm not eating like a infused ice cream or anything. So
A 500 milligram brownie every single night.
although there is a new fucking infused ice cream that I really want to try. No, and I'm good with like 10 milligrams. So
Yeah.
I'm lucky in that I can
green,
pop
huh?
a little gummy and I'm good. So
Team
yeah.
green. All right.
And you're team blue.
And I'm blue. Yeah.
What does blue mean?
Better, stronger. We're already like right next to our goal, so
Except
we
for-
really don't need much. Everyone loves us. Not much bad will ever happen, and millions of dollars are coming our way. It's like a pretty cool exclusive group of Weight Watcher people who are,
But you have
keep it tight.
tiny hands. Though.
But yeah, and we all have very tiny hands, and we're anxious all the time.
Yep. Need 2 hands to drink. And
That's why portions look so huge and I overeat, is because my hands are so small.
they're just tiny little hands.
I never go to Chipotle and eat in because everyone's like, oh my God, how's he even holding that burrito?
God. You're like that Kristen Wiig character on Saturday Night Live. Was my favorite.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
I dress like a big raccoon. I get in a Super Mario raccoon suit when I eat to
Yep.
explain the size of my paws.
Those tiny.
The other thing I wanted to say about Weight Watchers that I'm really enjoying, even though it's only day 2, is that I ordered a bunch of HelloFresh to give that a
Yes.
whirl, because what am I trying to say? Like, I need some things in my fridge that are like special and new and feel like eating out, even though they're not eating out. And so I'm really enjoying HelloFresh for that.
I did think that you should be a HelloFresh demo cook when you said, I was like, what did you show me? I need to see a picture of it.
I'll put it on the IG for
You
this
sent
episode.
that picture and I was like, what the fuck? That's so annoying. You made it look like that. It wouldn't look like that if I cooked it. It was really quite something. It looked
Thanks.
like the packaging. Also, can I say my joke?
Yeah.
I got you. When you said that you got HelloFresh, I was like, how about HelloFlesh? The #1 meal delivery kit for cannibals. I'll just let that sit right there. Okay, thank you.
Do you want to play with it? I can play with it.
Nope. It's just it's a perfect joke.
You don't want any ads? Nothing?
No,
We're just going to
I'm
let
not a comedian.
HelloFresh sit?
I don't need you to work it up with me. What
got-
is it called? Work it up? Punch it up. I don't need you to fine tune my perfect joke.
I'm a comedian. What's it called?
I said I'm not a comedian.
There's a lot in there we can play with.
Let's go. Okay, let's hear it.
Well, because...
I already have one from Capetta.
What is it?
Our friend John Capetta. He was like, actually, it sounds like a meal kit for, or not a meal kit, a monthly subscription box for sex toys.
HelloFresh.
HelloFresh.
That's fun.
Okay,
That's
it's
nice.
a little better than mine.
No,
So,
it's not. It's
you know.
different.
All right.
It's like
I'm not good at this tagging.
It's like A and A1.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But it's not down the lane of A. It's a new A.
Okay.
For me,
You hear me being defensive?
I know, because he's funny.
Damn you.
For me, like, what kind of meals are we talking about for HelloFresh? Because for me, I just got the pineapple and caramelized onion barbecue sauce flatbread.
Right.
It was delicious. So are we talking about, like, shinbone stew for 4, like a shinbone curry?
I think it would just be like a kidney on ice, you know? This week it's a pituitary gland. Sweetbreads, you know?
Sweetbreads. Oh,
Yeah,
I see.
I don't think it's like recipes and shit. I think it's like a refrigerated box with human
Haunches?
flesh in it.
That makes it even more interesting to me because there's no recipe card, there's no nutritional stats, there's no like prep time, cook time.
Nope.
Just a fucking liver.
Yeah. It's just this week it's an eye. Gross.
What would be your favorite part to try if you were to try a part of a human?
I don't want to ever have to eat a human. But if I were, I have thought about this. If I were like in, if I were a member of a soccer team that was trapped in the Andes and I had to.
In like 1984.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Or, on the Endurance in 1916 in Antarctica under the care of James Shackleton.
Or a dare.
Or on a dare. I would eat, I'd go fleshy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not fatty. Not the boob.
Mm-hmm.
Fleshy.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thigh, the loin, maybe the back loin.
Yeah.
I feel like might be okay. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a pretty disturbing thought to think
I don't know.
about.
I love sweetbreads.
Gross.
I know. But also, like, one thing I've never tried that I would like to try is the testicle.
Of a person?
Maybe later, maybe down the line. But like, what are those called? They're like fried in
prairie
it.
oyster.
Yeah, like that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd take a bite of it.
Sure.
Just to see.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe not.
I mean, I feel like if you're eating creatures, it is best to eat all of the creature, right? So,
yeah, that's it. Maybe that's it. Yeah.
Like, it shouldn't be weird to, if you're eating one part of that creature, you should be able to eat any part of that creature. If you eat meat, then eat all of it.
So then the HelloFresh meal plan is more of like, what size person are you ordering?
This is too much.
That's too far?
I can't.
Okay.
It's making me feel weird.
We got there.
I can't go down that road any further. I see that I'm putting a wall there. Done.
Okay. Great joke, Mary Jane.
Great. Thanks. Now I feel so weird about it. Now I'm like, oh, that's too dark. I'm going to have to take that tweet down.
I'm sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
I just meant to play around and not make you feel weird about a great joke. It's a great joke.
I had another thought that I thought was kind of funny about healthcare and PCP. Do you know what a PCP is?
I just had to Google it today to call my dude, whoever he is.
I was thinking like how funny it is that you get to a certain age, like, when you're like wilding out, when you're like in your 20s, maybe a PCP, you might think if someone was like, talking about PCP, that they'd be talking about angel dust. But then you get to a certain age and you're like, no, you're just trying to call your fucking primary care provider to like fix your broken ankle or whatever.
Like your neighbor through the wall hears you on the phone.
Yeah.
Being like,
I'm trying to get my PCP. I need my PCP. No, I'm not fucking jonesing for a fix.
Yeah, depending on the age of your neighbors, they're also like, oh, I wonder if they have Blue Cross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have an HMO? No, I'm looking for angel dust, you freak.
That's funny.
Yelling at my old neighbor, like, no, man.
No.
Trying
to get wet.
Oh, my God.
Man. What? Oh, you looking up stuff?
I'm looking. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what time it is. I'm losing track of time.
Oh, we're coming up on it.
Okay. I would love to say something that I'm proud of.
Yeah, let's fucking do some positivity.
Okay. So thank you, Mike, so much for buying the July-August issue of Rolling Stone to send to me in Fort Townsend, because my sister got a copy too, and Caroline and I were so stoked because it was my first ever piece in print in Rolling Stone about cool new edibles, like the future of edibles, kind of.
The hot list.
Yeah, it was on the hot list. So
you wrote the edibles hot list for Rolling Stone 2021
with Elizabeth Garber-Paul, who's the amazing culture editor at Rolling Stone, who's let me write a bunch of stuff for her, and it's fucking awesome. I love working with her. She's the coolest, and it was so neat to have it in print. And I thanked her. I was like, it was a big deal for me because I got to show it to my sis. And Caroline was like, that's really cool, and I'm proud of you. And that for me was a big deal. So it just felt really nice. And thank you for mailing me copies. It was just so neat. I'm going to get it framed. I was really stoked, and I hope it's the first of many. And I'm excited to pitch lots of more big print features.
I'm really proud of you. Is that okay to say?
Thanks.
You work so hard, and to have a piece about cannabis in print for a place like Rolling Stone is such a fucking big deal. Congratulations.
Thank you. And I know, maybe it's a little weird to gush about, but like the timing of it, the fact that you mailed it to us, that I held it in my hands with my sis, that it's just at an interesting time when so much has been uncertain, and it just felt like this really cool thing to celebrate, and I was really grateful for that. So thank you.
It's awesome. And also, I learned about the future of edibles from that because
Right.
there's information about nanotech.
Yep.
It's a very cool, comprehensive article. Like you did a great job of balancing products that should be celebrated and tried to see if you like, and also like the technology, the information and education that anybody would maybe need to get started. I learned about stuff, and I try and stay up on shit.
It's just a one-pager. There's a lot more to be said about it.
Don't
but it's definitely,
knock down my compliment with an eye roll. You rolled your eyes with your words.
No, I didn't mean to. I
Nah.
was really, really proud of it, and thank you so much. But like, there's just like, I want to write a 10,000 word feature about it, and this is a one-pager. There is so much out there that's happening, and we want to talk about it. Our South by Southwest panel. This is a good place to say the panel picker went live, and you can go and vote. It's on our Instagram. The link is in our bio. We need folks to vote us up so that we can bring our panel to South by Southwest 2022 on the future of edibles. And we have Chef Nikki, who is a recent guest, and Elise McDonough, who is another fabulous guest of ours, both amazing women in the space doing fucking cool cutting edge stuff. Chef Nikki cooks for Dave Chappelle and DJ Khaled and Migos and a bunch of other people, and she's just an incredible black woman in the kitchen doing fucking cool shit with weed. And Elise runs the brands for Canacraft and
Wrote the Munchies cookbook on for Bon Appetit.
She wrote Bon Appetit, and she was the first ever edibles editor at High Times.
Pro levels.
Yeah. So they have agreed to join us to drop knowledge and have a great time. They're both also so funny. I think it'll be a really funny time, and we're hoping to get that panel voted to be number one, baby.
Yeah, so you can, I mean, it's everywhere. We'll have it in our show description if you want to click that link and vote up for us. If you want to share it, great. Thank you so much. If you want to go to our Instagram, click the link there. The link is everywhere.
It is all over the place. I even tweeted about it. It's on my LinkedIn if you want to look that up.
Wow, LinkedIn it, huh? Okay.
Yeah, so we've got that coming up. And then, also I wanted to shout out, there's a website that I've been working with for a little while, and they just did a site redesign and launch. They're called Urban Aroma, and they're a new cannabis listing platform for places in New York and DC and Barcelona and a lot of these emerging cannabis markets that aren't served by some of the bigger platforms. And so Urban Aroma is coming in. It's filling the space with this really neat sort of marriage of like, honoring the people who made weed legal in the first place. That's a big part of what they want to do, is honoring the trailblazers who, fought to make weed legal at all. And they're working with 40 Tons, which is Corvée and Cooper's company, with our friend Anthony, to talk about social justice and equity. And they're fucking cool, and we're doing some cool blog posts and
That's
stuff.
awesome.
So check them out. They're urbanaroma.com, and they're just worth keeping an eye on right now. I think they're going to grow real fast.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You're making moves, Mary Jane.
I'm just trying to keep my fucking Bobo from eating me. He just came in and looked at me and asked for dinner, and I'm terrified.
He's really got you on a hook.
Oh, God. 3 months away from that guy, and I'm like hopping to it, Oh, okay, Bobo. Whatever you need, man.
That's like, did you notice in Mayor of Easttown? Oh, we can't talk about it because it'll be such a spoiler alert if I talk about that scene. Everyone watch Mayor of Easttown.
Okay.
If you haven't yet. And if you need an HBO Max password, I will give 2 people, if they seem chill, my password for 1 week to binge Mayor of Easttown, and then I'll change it.
Wow.
How about that?
What an offer.
That sounds fine. Well, because when I did that with Netflix.
I think it's illegal.
To what?
I think HBO, if they found out that you were doing that, can legally come after you.
With what?
They're lawyers.
To say change your password?
No, there's a policy where you're not allowed to share passwords.
So we have 2 pieces of legislation we have to pass. The hypocritical oath.
What I'm saying is don't do it.
And the password smash.
Yeah, don't do it.
Okay. Everyone send Mary Jane hate mail in her DMs about Mayor of Easttown. That is at @thisismaryjane_. Let her know why I can't share my password.
Mayor of Easttown is fucking awesome. Binge that over the weekend. Also, White Lotus. If you're not watching The White Lotus, I'm so glad we watched it together, and we gave it the full first ep and second ep to really take hold, and its claws are so in my consciousness now. I keep thinking about it and how fucking weird it is, and what a great portrait of just the richest, privileged, most terrible people fucking living their weird, unhappy lives it is. It's like so satisfying and strange. And Jennifer Coolidge is just so fucking
remarkable.
Amazing. And Natasha Rothwell.
She's remarkable too.
It's an incredible cast. Just
And that's
devouring the scenery.
That's a really good, sorry to interrupt. That was a really good note to add where it's like, I feel like all these shows right now, you have to give them a pilot and a spit.
Yeah.
Because the pilot is such a hard thing to do well, and you almost have to like plod through all this fucking setup to get to the actual show.
Yeah.
So the commitment is like, you have to give a show a 2-ep commitment.
Weren't we listening to that podcast with Jen Statsky on the way to Vegas where she was talking with someone about like wanting
John August was who she was talking about, and I can't remember the name of it, but if you look up either of those names, maybe you'll find it.
And it was about how the first season of any show, you almost want to scrap. Like you get to the good stuff after you've been able to work through stuff in the first 6 or 8 episodes. Yeah. So yeah. You gotta watch the whole thing. You gotta give it the whole season.
Yeah. Another one, shout out Mythic Quest if you haven't seen it. Give it a go.
Also, The Sopranos is really great if no one's ever checked that out.
We're so late. We're so late on everything. Guys, The Sopranos, like you and I.
That's because Caroline, my sis, was watching The Sopranos, and I just started watching it because I was like, I feel closer to her when I'm watching it. And I was like, how did I sleep on this? And then I just, I don't know how I missed it. I mean, I didn't miss it. I knew it was happening. But I just didn't watch it when it was airing for whatever fucking reason because I was watching Lost.
Right.
Anyway.
Which I've never seen.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So this is a new section of the pod where we just list things we like.
We just talk about TV that we like, and we smoke a joint and say, so what do you think about, have you seen,
have
what
you guys
about,
seen?
I think you should leave. Let's talk about that. Fucking genius. Is that it? Are we going to wrap?
Well, we have our buds of the week this week.
Okay.
Which I'm super stoked on. Can I go first?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, let me get my phone.
You should keep your phone next to you.
I know.
I keep watching you reach for your phone and it's like 5 feet away and your tiny hands have a hard time grabbing it.
I'm so glad you're back. Oh, man.
It's really hard to watch you try and hold your phone with your tiny, tiny hands.
Yes, I need both of them and a knee to keep it balanced.
Yep.
My bud of the week this week is at Seth Us McTree. That's Seth Chatfield at Seth Us McTree, who I just want to shout out for a couple reasons. One is Seth has been in our comments on a lot of our posts asking to talk more about Delta 8, which I think you'll get to in a second, saying like, yo, I came into the pod at a weird time. Things seem to be weird, but I'm here for it. And I really appreciate that. So I just want to say thank you to Seth Us McTree. Also, check out Clickbait Movie and Shiny Diamonds Film. So Seth is a filmmaker, and Shiny Diamonds Film sounds awesome. I was trying to find it on Facebook because it's a horror film, and I love horror. And all that I saw was that it's in a festival on Facebook. So Seth, if you're listening and I can check out Shiny Diamonds, I would love to. And thank you for joining us and listening to the pod.
That's fucking awesome. Thank you so much. And we are going to, so because Mike, you handled so much when I was away, and we dropped Sawsome, which was really fun. Thanks to our friend Ryan Howard, and just for you, so I could take some time and step back and be with my family. And so now that I'm back, I have an idea for a series that I wanted to drop on our Patreon, which are some explainers, because I think we get into bits and pieces on here, but we've never really devoted an entire episode to what the fuck is the endocannabinoid system, or really what's up with Delta 8 and Delta 9 and all of these hemp source cannabinoids or any of that sort of stuff. So I want to, for the next few weeks of the Patreon, which comes out, it's supposed to be Sundays, but sometime Sunday or Monday.
Yeah.
Drop some of these explainers about that kind of stuff.
Will you call them splainers?
Splainers. They're going to be splainers, and they're going to just be devoted to one topic. Maybe it'll be you and me talking about it. Maybe it'll just be me rambling. We haven't really decided how it's going to work yet, but there will be weed involved. It will be entertaining. It will be informative. It will be on our Patreon.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Who's your bud of the week?
So my bud of the week is sort of a two-folder, because it's first off on Instagram, the Northwest Straits Foundation, which is NW Straits, spelled I should just spell the whole thing out. NWSTRAITSFND. And that is the marine conservation organization that my sister worked for. And so those folks at the Northwest Straits Foundation have been amazing. Dawn, in particular, my sister's boss, listens to this podcast sometimes, I know. Dawn and Ginny, who is also my sister's boss at a different time. So they've been incredible. They've been great supports. And they set up a scholarship in my sister's name. And it's called the Caroline Gibson Scholarship in Marine Studies. And we've asked for donations to that scholarship if anyone's interested in supporting young marine conservationists who are just out of college, who have a twinkle in their eye and a drive to make a difference in marine conservation. It's in my sister's name. We'll put the link in the show notes if anyone wants to check it out. But obviously, no pressure. Just wanted to shout them out because it's my sis, and they did such a wonderful job just supporting and heralding all of the amazing work she did as a marine conservationist.
That's so rad.
Yeah.
Wow. These are good buds of the week.
Yeah, they're good buds of the week.
Glad you're back.
Thank you. I am too. I'm so glad to see your face.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to hang and yap and smoke and...
Oh, we're going to get so hot.
We're going to get so hot.
We're going to get so sexy.
I ate a grapefruit for a snack today and I basically levitated.
So great. Is that it?
That might be it.
Okay, bye everyone.
Bye.